I know you love earning travel rewards and cash back, and that's why you're going to love Rakuten. With Rakuten, you can earn cash back on everything you need to book your dream trip, hotels, flights, rental cars, experiences, and more, while still booking through your favorite travel sites. And don't worry, cash back can be earned on top of earning the credit card points and the hotel and airline loyalty points that matter most to you, depending on how you make your booking. Plus, with Rakuten, you can also earn cash back on groceries and other purchases like electronics, pet supplies, and more. And the best part, you can join today for free and start earning cash back on top of your travel rewards. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Rakuten, the most rewarding way to shop.
There is like this huge migration towards small villages, to some unknown places. Everyone is going to Tenerife or Gran Canaria, but nobody knows about La Gomera, for example, which is beautiful, but it's just not known because it's one ferry away. I think it's now about finding these little spots with amenities and everything that you need, but still not discovered by tourists and nomads. So I think it's about finding these little hidden spots.
You know that you are doing a good impact to a small village. 15 nomads that have a higher salary than the average of the city, buying good stuff, eating food everywhere, like going out for dinners. This has an impact that you can actually see. At the same time, you're getting back the culture.
Today's guests are Fabio and Juls. They're best friends who actually met in a co-living space on the island of Madeira, and they decided to team up and start their own foodie pop-up co-living experience. It's called Casa Basilico, and I realized recently that the concept of co-living, it's come up quite a lot on this show. We've never actually done a deep dive on this topic. It started off as a trend. It has grown into a full-fledged industry, and I thought, who better to help us break this down than two kind-hearted travelers who have experienced staying in co-living communities around the world and also running one of their own. So if you've been curious about the co-living movement, maybe looking for a way to travel that creates community while providing everything you need to get your job done, incorporating co-living into your travels might be for you. In this conversation, you'll hear what makes co-living different from staying in hostels, hotels, or other accommodations, the emerging trends in co-living, from big corporate chains to intimate grassroots experiences, some hidden destinations that are becoming co-living hotspots off the typical tourist track, and loads more. Whether you're a seasoned nomad or perhaps you're just exploring some of the possibilities of remote work with travel, this episode offers some perspectives on creating community while seeing the world through co-living. So grab your favorite beverage, strap in, thanks for being here, and welcome to the Zero to Travel podcast, my friend.
You're listening to the Zero to Travel podcast, where we explore exciting travel-based work, lifestyle, and business opportunities, helping you to achieve your wildest travel dreams. And now your host, world wanderer and travel junkie, Jason Moore.
Hey, it's Jason here with ZeroToTravel.com. Welcome to the show, my friends. Thank you for hanging out, letting me bring a little travel into your ears today. This is the show to help you travel the world on your terms, to fill your life with as much travel as you desire, no matter what your situation or experience. And co-living is one of those ways in which you can travel on your terms, something that didn't really exist during my nomad days. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to explore this topic. And that's what was always at the heart of this show when it started way back in late 2013 when I launched the first episode. It was about sharing all of the different ways that you could travel the world, giving you a bit of an a la carte menu, things you could try out, things you could do in certain stages of your life. And I was surprised when I was reflecting and thinking about what topics I wanted to cover that we had not done a deep dive on co-living, which is such a big part of the travel scene right now in many ways. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to give you some perspectives on co-living. By the way, you can check out Juls and Fabio's project over at casabasilico.online. It is a co-living pop-up for digital nomads, spreading love through cooking and real community. And it's a passion project for them. I really love to support travelers out there that are having the purest of intentions. And I think that Juls and Fabio, that is really what they have. That's what they're bringing to this episode and what they're bringing to the table with their project. They really just genuinely want to bring people together, cook some great meals, create some memories, have some great times, and do it in some lovely places around the world. And so I think you're going to love this one. Stick around on the back end. I will leave you with a quote to wrap this one up. Don't forget also, we have a free community newsletter over at zerototravel.com/community. You can sign up over there. Thanks for listening. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Fabio and Juls, and I'll see you on the other side, my friend. Cheers. Fabio and Juls from Casa Basilico. Welcome to the Zero to Travel podcast, my friends. Got both of you here. How you doing?
All good.
Very well.
I want to say a quick thank you because we ended up rescheduling this. I was like frantic and scrambling, and you guys were kind enough to reschedule this. So I want to just say thank you for that first. No, I got your email, full-time travelers, food lovers. You guys created a foodie pop-up co-living experience for digital nomads. And I thought, oh, this will be a really cool opportunity to actually do a bit of a deep dive on co-living, which is something that I think has come up a lot on the show, but we haven't really done a deep dive on. And I personally think I think of it as almost like a springboard to, semi-nomad or nomad life in a way. Would you agree with that?
I mean, for me, co-living is like the best way to travel as digital nomad. Like I did at the beginning traveling alone, and because I didn't know even that the concept existed. But when I found it, I was like, okay, this is exactly what I need in my life. This is exactly what gives me friends from day zero, and also a common space to use together to do stuff. And sometimes you have community managers that organize activities. So it's very easy for a person that has a full-time job to be already involved in a community that is doing something. So for me, it's like the best way to travel.
How about you, Juls? How did you end up stumbling into the co-living world?
I also were totally not familiar at the beginning with it. I used to live back in the UK, and I was sure that I'm gonna be a fashion guru working for Dior. And from one day to another, my life went upside down. And I decided that I want to travel full time and chase the sun because I was really, really upset in the rainy London. I got this idea from a friend of mine that was a digital nomad, and he introduced me to the whole co-living life. And my first destination was Madeira. Actually, it's where we met with Fabio. And it was a co-living called Banana House, and it's one of the most stunning, beautiful places in the world. It's a house facing the ocean with beautiful 360 view, sunrise, sunset, everything is there. I think co-livings are the sweet spot for travelers that don't want to be alone. And it's in the hotels you get that experience, like you don't feel like home, and co-livings usually are there for you to feel like home with all the setup in the house, and people around. So it's almost maybe like living at university with your friends and sharing the house a bit. So I guess it's a sweet mix of things. Yeah.
How do you define co-living specifically, as opposed to other forms of accommodations, I guess?
I think this definition is kind of changing more and more. We explore the concept. So for sure is a space with multiple rooms and some shared space where people stay for a certain amount of time. But what makes difference is this amount of time. So how long is this amount of time? And for us, we try to push people to stay at least 2 weeks or 1 month minimum, because this is the time that you need to really bond. And also another thing that really defines a co-living is like some kind of let's say encouraging the people to arrive at the same moment and leave at the same moment. So when you are there for, like, here we are for the month of February, and it's nice to know that we are going to be here for the full month, and all the people that stays with overlapping our time for like at least 2 or 3 weeks, those are the people that we can create a friendship with. So instead, if you have a co-living when everyone can come for like 1-2 days and leave, creates more a hostel vibe where you meet the people, but you don't want to really invest your time to create a friendship. But if you know that you're going to be for 1 month with that person, you are like, okay, let's find a way to know each other better and see if we are going to become friends. And this is what happened when we met, because we stayed the entire month, and that was how we create friendship.
Yeah.
So yeah, the solo travel experience, kind of like coming in, you're spending maybe a handful of days with people and then you move on. This is the mix of like a deeper relationship with your fellow travelers and more opportunities for sharing experiences together, more living, I guess. And then also there's the business side, right? Because people that are staying in co-living spaces, are they generally working for themselves or working remotely for a company or something like that? They have their work with them, or do you sometimes come across just travelers that are just traveling and just want to live with other travelers?
Yeah, I think that's what makes co-living different from hostels is that usually these are people that are working full time or working for themselves. There is a bit of mix, I would say. So people with remote jobs from different countries and entrepreneurs, people working on their own projects that they want to just focus on something, building something on their own. And yeah, that's a difference between hostels or hotels and co-livings, because people work, and it gives also the routine of the day, because during in the morning everyone is sitting down in the co-working spaces or communal spaces to work, and then in the evening we would go and hang out together. And when you have travelers, they want to go out during the day because they have the full day to use, so the rhythm is totally different. So I would say most of the co-livings, like 99% of people would work. Maybe some people would take a few days off to enjoy the place, but mostly everyone is working. So I think that's amazing because we all have the same lifestyle. Um,
This
so sure.
this make it very similar to the vibe of living together during university or college, where you have like this routine all together and you share this routine. But here is bigger, like because it's 10 people, 15 people, is more international, and also we are in a different stage of our life
Yeah.
for the age in general, and so we feel like you feel it in a very different way. And to be honest, like when you're at university, it's very easy to meet people, very easy to make friends. But when you are traveling solo, having something like this, it's easier exactly as university, even if you are 35 years old. So it's perfect.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I was reading a article pretty recently. They were talking about how it was more difficult to maintain sort of friendships or build new friendships when you're older. And the reasoning was that, when you're at university, as that example, you're all together almost every day, all the time. Or at school, my kids go to school, they're with the same people all the time, and that's just what it is. And then when you become adults, everybody branches off and does their own thing. So this is bringing people together in this way. It's kind of baked in that you're going to be having these social situations and you're going to be doing stuff socially together. And I mean, Jules, what you said about the rhythm, that kind of struck me because, there's also this element of like, I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty easy to procrastinate when you're in a beautiful destination, right? Like you're just like, all right, yeah, why am I sitting here on this computer when I could be out surfing or something? And so I haven't stayed in a co-living space, but I could imagine the built-in accountability helps. You look over and you're like, oh, okay, these people are working. Like, not that I can't go do that, but it's just kind of, there's the business side of it too, where you're just like, am I spot on there? Is that
Absolutely, yeah.
okay?
I think it happens every day. Like, I don't know. Obviously, like you have different routines. So when I'm back home in Poland, for example, I wouldn't wake up at 7 a.m. to go to see the sunrise and do yoga on the beach because it's freezing cold. So obviously, when you are traveling, you have all these opportunities and things. And I think you also try to maximize your day. Like, try to wake up early so you can catch the sun and do everything, and obviously fit work in this as well. But then we are like so motivated by the fact that we want to have lunch together, and then in the evening we want to cook or go together for some nice restaurant or go out in the see the island. It really motivates you to work, like focus for these few hours to have things done, because afterwards you have all the things to do. So I think this is really cool.
It also helps you to keep kind of a balance. Like if I was alone at home, I would be so burned out, like not recognizing what time I started and what time I'm finishing working. Instead here, like I focus, but I take it easy too. Like if it's too much, now I can go downstairs in the kitchen. I can bitch a little bit about my coworkers and with someone else that is struggling with the same problems, and it's actually nice. And then I go back to work. So you have this balance, you have accountability, you are motivated by seeing other people working a lot. At the same time, if you want a little bit of distraction, it's just down there in the community area where there's the kitchen, usually outside of the co-work, and it is actually really cool escape.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, for you guys, I mean, how many other co-living spaces have you stayed at? And for anybody listening that's like, you know what, this sounds interesting, but is this just one of those things for like young people? You mentioned the university vibe and things like that. I'm just wondering, for people that are like, their interest is peaked right now, like, this sounds cool, like built-in community, other people working, travel around the world, I'm vibing with this co-living thing. What advice would you give people for sort of like taking in the landscape of the co-living landscape as it exists today, trying to figure out like a match for them, for their personality and their situation, and maybe even their age, if that's a thing? I'm just curious, what would be your advice here?
I think it's really, really important to understand what do you want to get out of it. So either you want to have fun, meet friends, party, and as we said, like you want to be on that side, more of like university vibe. I think it's always better to look for spaces in bigger cities, look for spaces where you have already, I don't know, social media, where you can see what kind of people go there, what are they posting about, what are activities they organize. Is it more oriented around activities, and is it more hiking and nature and yoga? If you want more like grounding experience and you are more in like outskirts in a small village, obviously you're gonna get more of this like resort chill vibes. Or you want to get more active community and fun. So I think you can really like understand from how the co-livings are promoting themselves, like what activities they have, what people are out there. Obviously sometimes it's hit or miss. Sometimes you can get a group that is amazing, vibing with you, everyone is like with the same age range as you, and you have the best time of your life. And sometimes you have totally different concept of who is gonna be there, and you can be surprised. So I don't think that there is like one recipe that you Google, you go, you do your research, and it's gonna be exactly as you imagined, because it's not. It's always about the people, and it always varies whoever arrives there. But I think, yeah, so it's something that we've been really, really struggling with and looking for in the past 3 years of our travels, is having more filters on the co-livings, like being really explicit, really honest about what are you gonna get. Now we are in La Gomera, which is a super small island, very well known for hippies, for hikers, for nature. There is no, like parties. It's not a big city. It's a super small village. So obviously our expectations are, okay, people are gonna come here to hike, to chill, and take them time to work, and this is the kind of people we met here. So after a while, you are building up on that experience. Where have you been, and what kind of people are attracted to those places? But yeah, there is no one recipe, I think.
Yes. But one thing that I will add is, okay, you have to understand what you want, and you have maybe to try a couple of co-livings to see if the concept works for you. But another advice that I will give to someone that is starting is to try something that you don't want, because this is what
we love counterintuitive advice here. Well done. Give it to us, man. Give it to us.
Yeah, because this is where the fun starts. Like we had people that we met in co-livings that we were running, or co-living that we were just present there, that they were not liking it at the beginning, and they were like outside of their space completely. And then at the end of the month, they were a different person, because they just
they came out of their comfort zone. It's usually the introverts that they
Yes.
really want to push themselves, but they're really scared, and they need a little bit of,
especially beginner digital nomad. Like your life is, you were doing 9 to 5 in the office, you lived in the square, and you see someone that is running a co-living very outside of the square, but is still having a full-time job and doing good things, maybe it's not for you for 12 months, but 1 month it's nice, and then you have an overview how can be life in a completely different way.
Yeah. And I mean, your advice to me means a lot. Big reason I wanted to have you guys on, because you're running these things. So you have the perspective of being the participants, but you also have the overview of bringing the people together and running the whole show. And I think that the pop-up concept is pretty unique and cool. And because, co-living to me, like there's the logistics of, okay, yeah, everybody needs a bed and everybody needs a place to sleep and everybody needs, Wi-Fi and all these things. But the thing is the community, right? That's the selling point. And to your point of kind of the honesty, I think, yeah, just kind of piggybacking off of what you said about doing your research and kind of feeling it out. And, Fabio, your sort of counterintuitive advice, I think works well too, because then you can't go wrong if you're just stepping in and you're like, hey, let's just see what this is about. But you have to think about the co-living company's motivation too, right? Like, is it like a bigger company? This is no offense to any of the bigger companies out there. I'm just generalizing, but is it like, hey, we need to fill these seats because we've bought this giant place and now we're trying to build this community? Or is it like, hey, this is just what it is. We're looking for this kind of people. Like that's why I want to have you guys, because that's more your vibe, right? You guys are like, we love food. We love bringing people together. Like, this is what it is. Like, if you vibe with it, cool, apply and let's get it going. We'll get back to the interview in just a moment. I know you love earning travel rewards and cash back, and that's why you're going to love Rakuten. With Rakuten, you can earn cash back on everything you need to book your dream trip, hotels, flights, rental cars, experiences, and more, while still booking through your favorite travel sites. And don't worry, cash back can be earned on top of earning the credit card points and the hotel and airline loyalty points that matter most to you, depending on how you make your booking. Plus, with Rakuten, you can also earn cash back on groceries and other purchases like electronics, pet supplies, and more. And the best part, you can join today for free and start earning cash back on top of your travel rewards. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Rakuten, the most rewarding way to shop. Now, back to the show. Yeah, I want to ask about some of the community aspects with what you guys have learned with cooking food for over 200 nomads and what you've learned about building community through shared meals. But I mean, before we go deeper on co-living, come on, guys, you got to tell me a little bit more about when you met, like that first conversation. Was it like the spark, like the whole, like you walk in and you see each other and then the record goes and like the room freezes, or was it just more like, I don't know, I just ran into this guy, whatever. And yeah, how did it work for you guys? And where are you guys? Tell everybody where you're from too, one more time, because everybody hears the accents and it's nice to know where people come from.
Go for it.
Now you guys are getting shy. They're like starting to, I don't know.
You've been saying the story so many times. And,
okay. All right. Well, then you have to tell us something that you haven't said about the story.
Okay. So, funny story is that me and Fabio are not a couple. We are best friends. And,
it's insane.
And
male or female can be.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I assumed you guys were a couple. My bad.
Yeah, everyone is thinking that. And I think it's our biggest icebreaker whenever we enter the room, because everyone is thinking we're a couple because we're running a business together and we're traveling together and we're male and
so we're like, by the way, we don't sleep together. By the way.
So that's the first.
Oh, that's cool though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this project so amazing, because through the friendship, obviously we have ups and downs, but we don't have all the hassle of romantic drama between us. We're always supporting each other. But how we met, so basically 2.5 years ago, we were in Madeira, as I mentioned, in the most beautiful island on the planet. And
you like it there?
We love it there. It's a place to retire, to spend your whole life.
Because they had a big initiative to bring digital nomads there. And was that the time when they had like a year-long program or something? Is that when you were there?
Yeah, so there was a digital nomad startup in Madeira, in a very small village called Ponta do Sol. That was like a perfect place to launch it because it's a super small village with a few restaurants, beautiful hotel with a view and a beach. So everything you need is there. They had a free co-working space for everyone to use. Beautiful view. So it was just a place to be. And I arrived there, and I was working in a co-living as a community manager. So I was organizing things for the past few months already. And in the month of September, Fabio arrived because he was traveling already as a digital nomad, jumping from one co-living to another. And he was a few days late. So he arrived in the house where the group was already shaping. We were already friends. It was a super cool vibe. And he wanted to break the ice and he wanted to fit in. So what he did, he arrived in the kitchen with bags full of tomato sauce and spaghetti. And he decided that he's going to cook for everyone. And at the beginning, everyone was so shocked. Like, who is this guy? Why is he cooking? Why we are not paying him for it? What the hell? There were people from, I don't know, UK with the instant noodles going in the microwave, and Fabio was just, what is going on in here? I think that was the moment when we really bonded that night. We just like ate, cooked together for like 3 hours, opened a few bottles of wine, then went to the balcony and started to talk really deeply about life, about love, like really a moment, like really bonding moment. And yeah, the pasta was just an excuse to get everyone in the kitchen, get everyone together, start conversations. And yeah, since then we've been doing it for the whole month, like 2 3 times a day, cooking together, everyone, the whole group. We were 7 people, so I think it's like a cool small group that you can really bond with. And we were all ages, all countries, everyone was from different country, people from 22 to 42. So it was really a mix, but we bonded so well that it's incredible. Like we are still best friends with people that were there 2 years ago.
Yeah, and also all these people, like everyone in the house was doing other activities as well, like going for a hike. There were the dog walking activity in Madeira, really cool stuff. And every time they were going there, they were bringing someone in. Like, oh, I met this couple from the Netherlands.
Yeah, it was like word of mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we were doing dinners together. And so from 7, we became 15, 20. So we were fitting in this small room. We didn't have enough chairs, so we were eating, standing. Who cares? Like the whole eating is just an excuse. Like what you do is the act of being in the kitchen while cooking together. You speak with someone here, you speak with someone there, you move around, and this is very organic, very natural. It's not like many bonding activities in co-livings can feel a bit forced. I can feel that, okay, maybe this is not coming out naturally. Instead, here it's super organic, and this is something that we have in Italy by default. So for me, it was normal to see all this happening, but for many others, it wasn't.
Fabio, nice move, bro. Coming in with all the food and just cooking it right up. I mean, that's like a travel hack right there for anybody listening. Like you want to just befriend everybody there, just cook a giant meal. There you go. What part of Italy did you grow up?
I'm from Sardinia.
Okay.
Which
and
is
Juls?
actually, yeah.
I'm from Poland, the north of Poland.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Whoever knew you guys would be business partners. This is what happens when you go off and travel the world. One minute you're just kind of traveling around. The next minute you're running this thing. So is this your full-time thing, doing the pop-up co-living spaces, or is it just a way to kind of bring together community, a bit of a side hustle to be sort of the organizer and take the benefits of being the point person and bringing people together? And then also you run your own businesses, or?
Yeah, it is a side hustle. We have our job. And also this helps to keep it real because we are not scaling at a 6-figure business. It's not that important for us because we already have a job. But this is what we would have been doing in any case, even if we wouldn't met, because that's what we like. We will continue to travel and we will continue to cook and try to be with people. In this way, is even like it's way better because we are doing it together and there's way more people involved. But at the same time, having our full-time job, if we don't burn out, keeps us to keep it real, like to not became like a business for money, that probably would bring us to lose a little bit the vibe. So we want to keep it like this.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that about you guys. So I'll just drop the URL, casabasilico.online, and we'll put it in the show notes. So if you're vibing with Juls and Fabio today, then you can check them out. Let's talk a little bit more about food. So you guys say on your website, you talk about the lifestyle and you say, thanks to our past travels around remote communities, we perfectly understand what the digital nomad life tastes like. What does it taste like?
Is it a carbonara? Arrabbiata.
Well, what we want to say with that, more or less, is it's still about community and food. So everywhere in all co-livings, there's always like some kind of dinner activity. It can be sometimes it's lunch, where everyone cooks, or some people of the group cooks and everyone sits together at the table. Or in other co-livings, there's like some restaurant activity that people go together in a restaurant, etc. We tried all of these. It works for many people. It doesn't work for us because it's so short, and it's like you sit with in a big table, speak with 3-4 people, and then it's over. It's hard that you're gonna create a friendship, and you're gonna keep in touch with these people for 1 year after. Instead, what we want to say with that sentence is that if you want to create a friendship, this is your goal, you have to spend more time. And since you have only few weeks in the co-living, you have to spend as much time as you can, the free time that you have. And cooking is a good activity for that. Like cooking can be long, can be tedious. We don't know how to do it, so we're figuring out together. Sometimes we mess up completely, and so it's also
and
the
that's
fun.
The beauty of
It's also the fun of fixing it, improvising, and this keeps like bond people so much. And every time, like we are doing this so much, but every time it's so surprising to see how powerful it is, and it surprises us. Like we know how surprising it is. But now we are here in a co-living. It's not our co-living. We are here to visit, and we are doing the same. And we see how much it works, and we are like, this works every time.
I've seen this with my kids too, and I know it happens with other people, and it can happen with me as well. Is when you're engaged in an activity like cooking is a great one. If sometimes you open up in a different way, right? Like you don't have the pressure of like, oh, I'm sitting across from somebody and they're asking me questions, and we have to maintain eye contact and all this. It's just like a different, like if you're kind of doing things and you're occupied, sometimes you feel more comfortable, like maybe being a little more vulnerable in some ways. Do you find that?
Yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's part of the concept.
Yeah, what Fabio said, I think even though we are both very extroverted, for us, it's intimidating as well to be seated in a table and be forced to ask people, like, where are you from? How long are you staying? All the small talk, and tell me your story. Like, no, it just doesn't feel organic, and natural. But if I'm going around the kitchen with a glass of wine, and then I see someone chopping the onion in the wrong way, and I'm gonna say, dude, show me. Don't lose your fingers. We start the conversation naturally from not losing the fingers with the knife, and then you go
especially with those dull, like hostile knives. If you're in one of those,
yeah, exactly. This is really dangerous. So I think that's it.
I want to hear a little bit more about destinations. I mean, you guys have traveled around. We can apply this to co-living as well. It seems like you guys are pretty tapped into the scene. I mean, are there some destinations that have surprised you as unexpected co-living hotspots, let's say, or if maybe hotspots is too big a word? Maybe we're not looking for hotspots. Maybe we're looking for more hidden gems or more places that are up and coming. I mean, you guys following along in like the global co-living scene? Can you speak to that?
Yeah. So during those trips, of course, we saw a lot of places, but we have so many people that are connected to us, like friends that we met in other co-livings, that they are seeing some stuff somewhere else, and we are always texting to have feedback, to understand what's going on. So the interesting thing, so for Europe, I think what people look is good weather during winter. So
Yeah.
there's always this huge wave for the Canary Islands. And now maybe they are too busy. Like in the
Yeah.
past years, it changed. So I started in the Canaries 4 years ago, but now it's a different place. That's why also we are traveling in this island because it's very unknown. And
Yeah, I think for the Europe, it's all about, as you said, finding the little gems. Because
Yeah.
obviously, where are all the tourists? They're in Lisbon, in Barcelona. Obviously, these are like places like go to for tourists. But nomads want to escape it. They want to be in places where they can connect with locals, when they can get better prices. So I think there is like this huge migration towards small villages, to some unknown places. Like Fabio said, we have Canary Islands. Everyone is going to Tenerife or Gran Canaria, but nobody knows about La Gomera, for example, which is beautiful and as stunning as the other islands, but it's just not known because it's one ferry away, and people just like tourists didn't arrive here. And I think it's now about finding these little spots that are similar to what we know, with amenities and everything that you need, like good internet and stuff, but still not discovered by tourists and nomads as well, because nomads are also like taking over places. So before it was, I don't know, for example, Madeira became super popular. Now everyone is going there. So I think the upcoming one is Azores, because nobody knows it. It's upcoming. Then, I don't know, we went to Brazil, to a super small village in the north called Pipa, and it's a surf town, very small, very unknown. And we sold out this chapter in a few days because
Yeah.
everyone wanted to go to the carnival in Brazil. And in the winter, they wanted to run away from Europe. And it was a place, it was in Rio de Janeiro. So it wasn't crazy expensive. It was really cheap, really affordable, but beautiful with great weather. So I think it's about finding these little hidden spots that are out there.
And also another thing that works really well is to pick something small,
Yeah.
small towns, because it's way easier to connect with the locals. When we did that in Sardinia, Sardinia doesn't have a good co-living scene yet, but it's promising place. When we did our chapter there, a lot of people that joined were like, I really want to see Sardinia. I don't know how to travel there. And Sardinia is not easy to travel if you are not with a local. And there we connected with people living there so much. Like we had knew the butcher, the people sending the vegetables, the people of the bar close by our house were friends, and they wanted to join Casa Basilico too. We had so much connection, and this is like the good part of it. Like you know that you are doing a good impact to a small village, because like 15 nomads that have a higher salary than the average of the city, buying good stuff, eating food everywhere, like going out for dinners. This has an impact that you can actually see. At the same time, you're getting back the culture because you can deep dive in the culture, understand it better. And this, I think, is the essence of being nomad. Like that's why we do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I love both of those stories. And I think that if you're nomadic, you're traveling long term like that, long enough where you have time to stay in a co-living space and, spend a month here, a month there, why not spend the extra travel day to get on the extra ferry or go the extra, it's just like a general travel thing. I find that if you just go a little bit further, you can get a lot more in return in some of these ways that you just described. And I think that it's interesting for me to hear that 15 people can make a big difference on a village.
Very
That's
big.
You can.
then you're in a small place, right? Where people aren't jaded by tourism, and you're also, I guess, doing your part as a traveler in a way to kind of mitigate the over tourism in some of the other popular spots. What destination has surprised you guys with its food scene? Because you guys are big foodies, and I know you're cooking a lot, but I'm sure you go out to eat as well.
Actually, all of them somehow.
Yeah.
I would say so. Sardinia, of course, because it was Italian food. I discovered also so much food from my island because I didn't explore it in that way before.
Right. Oh, you were kind of seeing it from like an outsider.
Yes, and
perspective.
also
Yeah.
like with the cooking classes, we learn how to do some very particular pasta that we made in Sardinia, and so I discovered how to do it. I didn't know, and it was great. Then Brazil.
Brazil, I think, was really surprising in terms of the restaurant scene, also a mix of cultures, because there are so many Argentinians in there that we actually being in Brazil and discovering the Argentinian cuisine was really huge and really interesting. And something we really like doing as well is inviting chefs to come in our house. So we did that in Brazil, and we asked one of the chefs from the village to come and do a live cooking class with people from Basilico, and that was really amazing. We were cooking moqueca, which is traditional Brazilian dish, and he brought like a huge head of shark, and he put it in our freezer. And one day, I'm just going in the morning to go for my smoothie, and I see a shark face in my freezer. I was like, hey, that's fine. That's a normal Monday morning, So yeah, there were some surprises.
I love that visual, just like sleepily going over to open up the refrigerator, and there's just like a giant shark head about to bite your face off. That's great. That belongs in a comedy film. You just close it like nothing happened. That's even more funny.
We'll get back to the interview in just a moment. Now, back to the show.
How long have you guys been traveling, and what's keeping you traveling right now, just personally?
You remember before Jules was talking about the fact that when you meet someone, you have to do like the small talk part at the beginning when you talk about like what's your job, where are you from, how much are you staying. This is very boring. We tend to skip it, and like we try to ask this question, like what is motivating you, what make you leave your place to many people. And like most of the stories is a breakup story. Like someone has a long relationship, breaks up, and then decide, okay, I have a remote job, I'm leaving. That's my story.
They're like healing, traveling to heal in a way.
Yes, travel to heal. Like this is my story. I went through a breakup, and then I decide I don't have any reason to stay in Italy anymore, and I have a remote job. I want to travel. Let's go for it. Other people instead gets motivated by just curiosity of discovering different cultures. Maybe this
That was for me.
Yeah,
because so many people, like, I think there are a lot of nomads that are in their 30s, and they just get burned out, like tired of their 9 to 5, going through breakups, and it's like a moment of like getting the new life, kind of like turning point. For me, it was like I started traveling when I was 22, when I already finished my job. Like I had maybe like 9 months of 9 to 5 experience, and that was enough for me. I didn't need 10 years to understand that's not for me. So I was really lucky to understand very quickly that I want to just travel. And so for me, it's just about this adrenaline of going to new places, getting to know new people, coming up with new ideas. Like I would never say back then when I was a student, or when I was, I don't know, in high school, that in the age of 25 I would be running 2 companies and traveling full time around the world, like with some crazy Italian cooking. Like no, never. So I think it's just my hunger. Some people have this gene, like travel gene, that you cannot stop. And we have quite few nomad friends that keep saying that. Yeah, I tried to settle. I tried to sit down in my hometown just to be with my friends, family. I miss them, but I cannot. Like after a month, they pack the suitcase and they have to go. And I'm the same, at least for now, that you have this craving really deeply inside you that you need to go and explore more and see more.
And then it became so addictive.
Yes.
So addictive. Like most of the people, it's like at the beginning you have this event that make you escape, that can be a breakup, for example, and then after you have this adrenaline when you meet new people, and you want that adrenaline more and more. Like for us, we are really extroverts, so we crave for that adrenaline of meeting, having a new person on the table, or 10 new person on the table, and asking them questions and see what's in their head. But then you like when I go back I live in Sofia. When I go back to Bulgaria and I rest for like 1 month, I'm like, man, I need to escape. I need to meet people now. and it's the adrenaline.
Yeah, Bansko, another hotspot, co-living hotspot we didn't talk about. You guys shared the story about when you first met and you ended up in this deep conversation. It really took me back to some of those moments traveling where you meet somebody and you connect on some level that's absurd in some ways. You're like, we just met, we're connecting so deeply, and it's just such a beautiful thing. Yeah, I'm just wondering if you have any other stories that you've witnessed along those lines where, you know, perhaps the food experience or whatever has opened up deeper connections through your community.
Actually,
We have many.
there is one that we love telling, and it's really funny one. So we understood that food is one thing, and also going together through a crisis with a community and solving it, it's another thing. And it's really amazing, actually. So even though it sounds dramatic, but when we were in Sardinia, we were driving a car of Fabio's grandfather, like old Punto. The car was falling apart, but we drove through the whole island with that car.
Yeah.
So
that's the way to do it.
Yes. That's the Basilico way, I would say.
By the way, this happened during a surprise weekend.
Yeah,
so there's this activity that we do when we say people, look, to pack those stuff, we send a WhatsApp message with a list of stuff to put in a backpack, and you don't know where you're going to be going for 48 hours. So it's on us to decide. So they enter in a car and they don't know how long we're going to be driving, where are you going to go. It's so much fun.
So we did that on the last weekend in Sardinia when we did a surprise weekend, and we were on the way for some activity, and I was driving the Punto, which was, I heard some weird noises, but then I just put the music up not to hear it, and I just continue through the highway. And at some point I just heard like this huge crack, and I felt like something is falling. So I stopped. I pulled the car on the way, and I just saw that there is like this huge piece of the car that is on the floor. And I was like, what is going on? So I called Fabio that was in the other car, and I say, Fabio, the car is falling apart. Like, we cannot continue. There is a piece literally on the floor. And Fabio said, look, I cannot come back. Like, I'm on the highway. Like, there is no way. Wait there. I will try to find a way. Instead, we could cry in the car, be depressed, be worried. I was really worried because I was the only one in the car who knew that after this experience, we have a helicopter booked. So we booked a surprise helicopter ride for the whole collection. And everyone paid up front for it, and the pilot was waiting for us.
It's crazy what you can do with a credit card nowadays.
So I was so stressed, and I couldn't tell anyone, like, guys, we have to fix it because the helicopter is waiting. So nobody knew. So I was there on the highway. It was like 30 something degrees, full sun, AC is off, like the car is off. So what we did, we took the speaker out, we put some techno music, and we then I remember that we have so many plants of basil in the trunk. So we had to take it out so it doesn't, boil in the trunk because it was so hot. So we take all the basil out, we put the music, and we started party with plants of basil, dancing, laughing. And then Fabio arrives. It's like, what is going on in here? Like, just random people on the street dancing with the plants of basil. Like, what is going on?
They were doing a full photo shoot because one of the photographers was in the car. So they have this amazing photo shoot with the
Fabio arrived, and he pulls this like hotel white towel on the ground. He takes some random scissors that he found in the car. He cut the piece of the car off, takes it out, put it in the trunk, and he's like, continue driving, let's go to the helicopter. And that moment was one of the most challenging and bonding moments for the community and for us. Like, we were like, if we can go through this, we can go through anything.
That's so great. What a great story. And you know that you're doing a great job if you got a car full of people and they're stranded in the heat like that, and they still want to talk to you guys.
Yes. They were so when they saw when we arrived at the parking spot, it was behind a restaurant. So everyone was thinking, oh, we are going to this restaurant in this very nice spot
for a good
price. Yeah.
Right.
And then there were an helicopter parked and a pilot waiting for us. And the pilot walked towards me to shake my hand. And they were like, no, the helicopter is here just as a coincidence. So no,
Right. That's great. Yeah. They're like, first we're going to have an impromptu dance party with Basilico, and then we're going to go to this. That's great. And also like the junker car to a helicopter. That's kind of a funny image too. What do you guys think about, the rise of co-living spaces? How do you think that this whole movement, what do you think it says about like work, travel, community, remote work? I know you guys aren't here to predict the future, but if we were going to ask you to kind of take a look at trends in co-living based on your experience, based on your personal experience in running one, where do you think things are going? Like, it's funny because some of these companies are now reversing and they want to bring people back to the office. And, where do you guys think all this is going?
Actually, funny enough, I had this conversation with someone just yesterday because they were asking me the same question. And to be honest, from what we are seeing is that during COVID, there was this huge boom. Like everyone wanted to travel, everyone wanted to work remotely from some cool places, be in the villages, in the nature. There was like really big demand for it. And since people stayed, many of them with remote jobs, it became more and more popular to search for places like co-livings. And I think that was the rise, like for the past 2 years there were so many new co-livings that we were like, it was hard even to catch up, like how many are there. And it was just like one account after another that we saw popping there and there. But I think now, and obviously there is that differentiation which you mentioned, that at the beginning there were like few really big companies, like American companies, that created very big chains. So you had membership and you can travel around the world, go to expect the same things, the chain thing. And people, like many Americans were traveling through that. So they arrived to Europe as well because of that. And now I think there is more and more upcoming in Europe, but like smaller places. So like pop-up co-livings or little, rural houses somewhere in the villages. So it's not anymore, like the trend for the big ones, the chains in big cities or stuff like that. And I think, I don't know, I have a feeling that now it's getting a bit more difficult to feel co-livings. Like there are some empty co-livings, there are some co-livings that people try to convert into more hostel, going on booking.com, because it's really hard to find so many nomads, because as you said, there is that trend of people going back to offices, and it's usually not even like full-time offices, but they ask you to be like 3 times a week, 2 times a week, and that locks you already that you cannot spend a month in a co-living, right? So I think that's really annoying. We also saw so many people coming for a month, and we asked them, oh, are you traveling full time? No, just once a year. So they do like allowance of 1 month per year when they can do it. But obviously that's not enough. So I think there was the big boom and everyone was trying to get in the stage. Then the big chains tried to put prices higher and higher, then they failed, and now people are trying to figure out something in between, something that is a balance, something that will work. And yeah, I think we are trying to get there.
Who is gonna survive in all this game is who is like the co-livings that are really offering something different, something that is unique, and something that, like as we said before, we have this layer that is the accommodation, internet, good amenities, and then the layer of the community on top of that. And people are looking for that. Like people adapt to any kind of accommodation, but if you have a community that gives you something, you are fine. Like you are gonna fill the rooms without any issues, because people talk with each other, and just with word of mouth you are gonna have enough people for the entire year, and you don't have to do compromises, to do shorter staying, to go in a comparator website and be more a hostel. So I think this works. For example, when in the place where we met, Banana House in Madeira, was like you go there because you want to meet your new friends. Like people know that, and we say to many people, please guys, go there at least 1 month.
And they ended up staying free for extending,
because the whole city is a melting pot of nomads. Like even if you don't meet in the house, doesn't matter. You go to an Airbnb and then you meet them somewhere in the co-working, because it's all like a melting pot. So you need this kind of hubs. A co-living in a hub is where like you're not gonna have issues to feel it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, sort of like the more grassroots type of places, more, I don't know, I hesitate to use the word authentic, but like you said, maybe non-chainish, let's say, smaller business owners perhaps. Do you think that the pop-up thing is the thing that's going to keep going, or do you think that I mean, I guess there's room for both, right? Like the epic house with the sunset that you described on Madeira is like a stationary place. Perhaps somebody owns it and people just come there and that's what it is. Whereas opposed to you guys are, finding new places finding a place in each destination and kind of bringing the community together. Uh, those two models, which one do you think? Now, I'm not going to say which one wins out because there's room for both. I'm just wondering which one do you think is going to be more prevalent in the next 5 years?
An hybrid, I think.
The hybrid?
Yes, this is also what we think will work for us. We would like to have a house and do a, like a concept for the entire year there, and people can go there and live the experience. But at the same time, also trips, organized trips in other co-livings. So you can build friendship with other co-livings too, like partnership between us and other co-living owners. We are in the same business. We can also optimize because we can take those co-livings in the lower season when it's harder to feel it. And for us, it's easier because we already have a community that maybe wants to explore that place in a moment where the prices are cheaper. Yeah. So we are getting a space that will be empty, full, and this is a good optimization. Also, you help, like as well, you help the locals because in a moment of low season, you bring some people that are doing stuff in the city. They are doing good activities without too much tourists. They are getting money because they are selling stuff, and everyone is happy.
And answering your question, like in terms of the next 5 years, I think from what we've been seeing for like employees and companies and what people are looking for, I think the pop-up and overall like retreats and like workations, like that's how it's called out there, are gonna be the future because yeah, as I said, people can work remotely for a certain amount of time, so they cannot stay longer. And I think if they want to experience different things, they are not going to go back to the same house every time. Like they want to see different countries, different cultures. So I think that the whole idea of like going to different places, but knowing that, because as humans, we need the comfort. Like why people stay in the same hotels or going for chains, because they seek comfort within the discomfort of traveling, right? So we want these basic things to be there. So if you provide them, okay, this is what you can expect from the company, that we're gonna give you the community, the food, this kind of activities everywhere, but in different places, that's quite attractive, right? So we've seen a lot of pop-ups rising now, retreats and play like projects that are focusing more on short experiences and going from place to another rather than taking the whole place long term, because it also comes with responsibility, to pay the bill for the whole year for the house. So I think it is going that direction of like more loose cannon, I would say.
Okay, cool, that makes sense. Well, can you guys do one of these in Norway? I want to hang out and make meals. Guys. I know it's not like nobody wants to come here because it's too cold. I'm using air quotes, but it actually is cold, so I shouldn't even use air quotes. maybe one day. By the way,
for a weekend,
weekend is good.
Okay, cool. We have like charming cabins with grassy roofs and that sort of thing.
She's nice.
Pure views. We are always chasing the sun and like going to warm places because we want to escape winter. But not long time ago, we went to Switzerland to see how it is to experience the winter as well, and Alps, and it was stunning too. Like the snow, the views, like it's really
I mean,
cool.
We were in the Alps. That was beautiful for real.
Cozy. All right, before we let you go, guys, share where you want people to get in touch. I know we were going to drop the links, but is there anywhere else you want to just share here that we missed and just about what you guys do?
Yeah, so
Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram is our main channel, Casa Basilico Co-Living. we are oversharing there everything about what's happening.
And this is also so real. Like if you check the stories, this is exactly what you expect when you are going there. Because we had people coming and say, yeah, I check Instagram, but I didn't expect it was real. It is. It's exactly
because there is that layer of social media that everyone thinks, they pretend stuff like just to show off, because that's what social media does, right? Instead, we're trying to be so us on socials that people love it. And we have so many followers, people that went with us, that we're doing stories about, and people love it. So if you really want to see what Casa Basilico is about, Instagram is the place to be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll link up to that as well so people can find it. By the way, somebody who lives overseas in a foreign country and has attempted to learn the language and has to an extent, I have to say, you guys, amazing English. I mean, you do this all in your non-native tongue, which, I just want to say that's awesome, because one of my dreams would be able to like execute an interview in Norwegian, but it's tough. So anyway, I just want to say, like, awesome.
Thank you.
I don't feel like people that, are just, it just kind of takes for granted how so many people speak English, but, it's like a whole other language. So anyway.
No, but I think this is actually a funny topic, because when we met, I was speaking this like super British English, like super, academic. And then Fabio was speaking 5 words in English, super bad. And then our language is like merged. And now I speak English with Italian accent very often.
I discovered that the Italian accent is so contagious.
Yes.
And so people, like in the house, people start to speak in Italian accent.
That's
everyone.
crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's very infectious.
Jason, because soon you're going to go to your kids and be like, guys.
If anybody listens to the interview I do after this, I'm going to be like speaking Italian. And be like, what happened? Oh, yeah, he talked to those Casa Basilico people. Yeah, they rubbed off on him. Before we let you go, can you just share like anything you want to share here right now in terms of like a little bit of wisdom, or perhaps like a quote you're living by, or just like your best travel advice, or anything like that, just to send us off on like a challenge perhaps you want to issue to people?
Yeah, like
anything you want to leave us with?
I can shoot some stuff randomly that comes on top of my head, but like really do something that you don't want to do sometimes, because it's really good fun and you are going to discover something about yourself. And when you meet new people, don't be scared to share personal stuff. Don't be scared to overshare, because overshare motivates other people to overshare too. And you have a friend in zero time, because we don't have time for doing small talk anymore. And it's not important to do small talk. Like if you meet someone and you are interested in their personal story, share your personal story and you're going to get something back.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
put more cheese on the pasta as well.
Nice.
Always
Love
put more cheese on it. No, I would say, as much as cliche it can sound, I would say live and say yes. Just say yes to things, because you never know what the outcome is going to be. And I remember I was listening to the travel podcast back in the UK when I was really, really struggling with what I want to do, where I want to be. And I was like every day just living through that hope and dream of traveling. And so many people I meet, they come and say, I'm so jealous. I wish I could have this life. And you could. The thing is that you could. If you are listening to this, if you are having these conversations with people that are already doing it and following it, it means that this hope is in you, like this idea is in you. So just go out there, say yes. You are probably, never going to regret it, because saying yes always leads to good things. So
beautiful. What a great way to end it. Thank you guys so much. I'm following you on Instagram, so I look forward to keeping up and, wait for you guys to come over to Norway so we can make that happen.
Yes.
And yeah, maybe I'll put a giant shark head in the refrigerator just so you feel at home.
That sounds amazing. Now.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Jason, for having us.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you to Fabio and Juls for stopping by the show. What a pleasure it was chatting with them. Got all the links in the show notes. I'm going to leave you with a quote on community, of course, one of the big themes of that conversation. And speaking of community, if you go to zerototravel.com/newsletter, you can sign up for our community newsletter over there. It's free. You're going to get some cool travel links, some personal updates. You can hear about some of the latest projects going on, get a little behind the scenes look at what is happening on the pod, what's coming up, all kinds of fun stuff. And it's free to sign up. So feel free to do that over there. Now, this quote from Dean Ornish, who said, "The need for connection and community is primal, as fundamental as the need for air, water, and food." Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Peace and love to you and yours. Cheers.
This podcast has been brought to you by zerototravel.com. Ideas and advice to make your travel dreams a reality.